Welcome to This Is Your Life. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee to tell the story of a man who knows and loves the land. In song, he tells the story of the men who work the land. One of the greatest country music writer-performers the world has ever known. Come with me into the Grand Ole Opry House and watch our weeks of secret preparation unfold.
This is Your Life, an American tradition.
Thank you and welcome to our show tonight. Coming to you from the home of the Grand Ole Opry in Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. All right, y'all looking good.
Hey, John.
Hi, honey.
John, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'd like to for just a minute, if you don't mind. I want you to meet a good friend of mine all the way from California. Ralph, would you mind to come on out? This is a good friend.
Pleasure to see you. You guys are good friends. You mind if we borrow your stage for a minute, Johnny?
Right ahead.
Well, we need to, because you see, we have brought a whole staff out here from Hollywood and a whole lot of surprising people to Nashville to tell the story of a poet, a troubadour, a musician, a dreamer, a man of great strength, courage, and deep faith. Johnny Cash, this is your life. Hang on now. Oh, I think June finally. There's been something about you that inspires people to believe in you, Johnny, and their faith has been justified. From Washington, D.C., listen to a man who has had that faith, Dr. Billy Graham.
Johnny, I'm sorry I cannot be there tonight. I wish I could be there in this great moment in your life. We've had several talks together, and in spite of all the problems and the pressures in your life, you've had several things going for you. You've had a father and mother that believed in God and prayed for you. You've had a family that loved you. And this is a great deal in a man's life. And I have been very proud at how you've overcome some of these great problems and temptations in your life. And I've been very proud of your growing faith in God.
Johnny Cash, you were born on a little farm near Kingsland, Arkansas, in 1932. Your parents, Ray and Carrie Cash, did the best they could to feed a family of 6 children during the Great Depression era. With the election of Franklin Roosevelt, the New Deal is born. How'd the New Deal affect you and your family, Johnny?
Well, it meant we had 20 acres of cotton land and a house and a barn and a mule in northeastern Arkansas in the wilderness, and my dad and my older brother Roy carved a few acres out for the first crop.
You're about 5 when you began to help in the fields, picking cotton. But in 1937, the mighty Mississippi swells and overflows its banks. Devastation covers the land. What'd you and your family do, John?
Well, Daddy got us all packed up, and we caught the bus to the train that took us to the hills.
He stayed back.
He stayed there, tried to save the place.
What? Now, your mom asked your dad, "How high's the water, Papa?" And what did he answer?
Well, it started out, it was right lapping at the bottom step. He said 2 feet high and rising. It kept on till it was 5 feet high and rising. Yeah. He sent us to the bus. You catch a train to Pine Bluff, or a bus it is, in safety. A couple of days later, your dad arrives from Dias and tells the family the water has ruined everything. As a result of that experience, years later, you write this song.
How high is the water, Mama? 2 feet high and rising.
5 feet high and rising, one of your biggest hits. After the flood waters recede, you and your family return to Dias, and you, John, attend the Dias grade school.
I had you in my classes in school for a total of 6 years.
The wonderful lady who taught you in grade school and high school, Mrs. Ruby Cooley. Cooley, sit down here with John. Was John a good student, Mrs. Cooley?
Oh, yes, he was. He was an excellent student. But that wasn't all he was either. We had plays every year, and the students themselves would say, which part is John going to say? And after he chose his part, then the others would try out.
Yeah. Did John sing in those days?
Yes, and of course the one I remember most, he sang at his own graduation. Do you remember what you sang, John?
At the graduation, I don't believe I do.
What was it, Miss
I
Cooley?
sang Trees, I believe, one year. The Whiffin' Poof song.
That's right.
I don't suppose you got a gold record for that one, did you, John? Miss Ruby Cooley, thank you so much. You'll see John a little later. In these boyhood years, you love to roam the land, hunting and fishing. There's a Cherokee strain in the Cash family, and a respect for the land and its creatures runs deep within you. You begin to understand a man's problems, and you write verses about them.
I got cotton in the bottomland. It's up and growing, and I got a good stand. My good wife and them kids of mine gonna get new shoes come picking time. Get new shoes come picking time.
1950, the Korean conflict. You enlist in the United States Air Force. You end up in Germany. You borrow your first guitar and organize a group you call the Landsberg Barbarians. So here, for the first time on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, is the sound of Johnny Cash and the Landsberg Barbarians.
Be on the hair, on the board, on the ball, on the bottom, on the log, and a hole in the bottom of the sea.
Hey, John, I brought our old Gibson guitar.
Just call the roll, John boy. The Landsberg Barbarians are all tuned up and ready to go.
Your old Air Force buddies in Germany, now from Vicksburg, Mississippi, Reed Cummins, and from Max Creek, Missouri, B.J. Carnahan.
Hey, Crow!
You're looking good.
Good to see you.
I think this is the first time America's ever seen the Landsberg Barbarians. Isn't that right, Peter?
That's true. That's right, Ralph.
Yeah.
In fact, we had quite a group over there. And all of us boys got together and we became, I think, some of the greatest buddies in the world.
Reed, is that the old Gibson guitar there?
Yes, it is, Ralph. We call it the traveling guitar because all of the barbarians picked on it, practiced on it from time to time.
I guess maybe you ought to have that guitar gold-plated there.
Probably should.
Thank you, Reed Cummins and B.J. Carnahan. One night in Germany, you attend a movie which inspires you to write one of the biggest hits of your career. What was the picture, John?
Inside the Walls of Folsom Prison.
And the tune?
Folsom Prison Blues.
After your honorable discharge from the Air Force, you marry Vivian Liberto, and you take a job as an electrical appliance salesman in Memphis.
When I looked up and saw John, I had a real strange feeling. It was almost like seeing God. He and Luther and I became blood brothers right on the spot.
Your friend and bass player in the famous Tennessee Three, Marshall Grant. Well, now, how did you fellas happen to get together, Marshall?
Well, it's sort of a strange story. Luther and I were working at this garage in Memphis and with Johnny's brother Roy. So we were playing these guitars all the time, and Roy says, well, I got a brother in service. When he gets out, he says, the singing's pretty good, we'll all get together. So we did. We all got together one time, and we started practicing in one another's house and so forth and so on.
At that time, you all played rhythm guitars.
Yeah, we were all playing rhythm guitars, and one night we were sitting there all playing these rhythm guitars, and we decided we had to do something a little different if we were going to do anything. So Luther said, well, I know where I can borrow an electric guitar. John says, well, since I do the most of the singing, maybe I should stick with this rhythm guitar. And the only thing was left was a bass. So that's how I come with the bass. And we borrowed one. We borrowed a bass, and we didn't know how to tune it. And we had a friend that drew us a sketch on the paper of how to tune the bass fiddle. So we got that, and so the three of us were together for 14 years. And, of course, Luther Perkins died 2.5 years ago, and John and I are still together.
Right. Thank you, Marshall Grant.
Thank you.
You're booked all over Tennessee and northern Mississippi as Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Two. And your first major booking is the Overton Park Shell in Memphis, Tennessee. And that performance heralds the beginning of a new image and a new legend in country music. The beginning of a fabulous professional career and, for a while, a crushing personal failure. Offers begin to pour in. The merry-go-round begins to turn. Your life becomes a race, and the pace is a deadly one. You gear yourself to the pace. You try to make life a joke.
Hey, John, you'll have to get those 100 checks out of your room.
Your old friend and former manager from Thousand Oaks, California, Stu Carnell. Now, wait a minute. What's this about the 100 chicks?
We better explain that, I guess.
I think so, yes.
My wife and John, we're talking about baby chickens.
Oh.
We were going through Iowa and got a little bored on the one-nighter, so we stopped and got 100 baby chicks from the Feed and Grow people, and we carried them on tour with us for about 2 weeks. Kept them in the drawers in the hotels. And by the time it was...
To set the bellboy after chicken feed.
Right.
You had a rather unusual group, I'd say, Stu.
Unusual? To say the least. But one-nighters and everything, we had a lot of fun, and we were with a great man, a real man's man, John Cash.
Right. Thank you, Stu Carnell. As your popularity grows, Johnny, your responsibilities grow with it. As the pressure begins to build, it's an easy step to pills. Pills to give you energy and keep you going during the day. But then the nights are agony. The answer is simple: more pills to make you sleep. By a strange paradox, you reach the heights of artistic success during the period in which you're failing most as a person. You write your monumental works, Ride This Train. Johnny Cash sings the ballads of the true West, Bitter Tears and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. 2 more daughters are born to you, Kathy and Cindy. Then you're shattered by the death of your closest friend, Johnny Horton. Devastated and heartbroken, your pill intake increases, and the vicious cycle that often ends in death has you in its grip. Then you meet a man who has a very strong influence on the course which your life will take.
Johnny Cash stands as tall as any man I've ever known.
Your friend and pastor of the Avenue Community Church in Ventura, California, Reverend Floyd Gressett. Reverend Gressett, how did you meet Johnny Cash?
Driving on the freeway near Ventura, and I heard a beautiful song. That old song, "Were You There When They Crucified My Lord?" When they finished, they said, "This is Johnny Cash." I made up my mind then, now there's a guy that sings from his heart, and one of these days I'm going to see him and tell him. And Ralph, you know how God does strange things. And a short time after that, Johnny came to Ventura to pick him out of home, and we became good friends.
And when you asked John to join your church, how long did it take him to get ready, Reverend?
About 7 months. He said, "I'll let you know when I'm ready." In about 7 months, I had a letter from him, and I'd like to read just a portion of that letter. It said, "God said we are equal in his eyes. I demand equality, nothing more. My heart is a pauper like all men. Since music is my specialty, you can expect me to have songs planned. If nobody wants to hear me sing, that's fine." And I answered that letter, and I said, "Johnny, we want you to come. We want you to bring a song and bring your guitar, have it tuned and ready to pick."
Yeah. Thank you, Reverend Floyd Gressett. Thank you. Thank you. See you. the fight was not yet over, there'd still be years of personal despair and sorrow, and all through them, you do what you can to help the underprivileged and the forgotten men of the nation, the prisoners and the Indians. Another daughter, Tara, is born, and you now have 4 daughters. In 1963, it was, you appear at the Hollywood Bowl, and it's obvious that you're a very sick man. You're having difficulty with your marriage, then you start to slide downhill fast. By 1967, you reach bottom. Sick and bewildered, you wake up in a Georgia jail.
The next morning, Johnny made me a promise, and he's kept it.
From Lafayette, Georgia, a man who picked you up one night, Sheriff Ralph Jones. What happened down in Lafayette, Sheriff Jones?
Well, Ralph, I picked this fellow up. He seemed to be wandering around, and I gave him a lodging for the night.
Yes.
The next morning, I said, Johnny, I'd like to understand why that you would let a little thing as a pill throw you in the gutter and ruin your life.
He said, take your pills back and go. He said, just remember that there's people like us that care for you. And he said, remember, you're a better man than that. And I never forgot the words this man told me. Wonderful. He's a very rare sheriff, a very good sheriff.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Sheriff Ralph Jones. Well, they begin to line up, Johnny. Still, your personal problems continue. Your marriage ends in divorce. You call out for help, and your call is heard.
I gambled on John, and we both won.
Yes, your friend and president of the American Psychiatric Hospitals Incorporated, Dr. Nat Winston.
I couldn't get this rascal to go to the hospital. That cash determination just stuck in there. He was determined to stay at home. He was a sick man, but with the real true guts of a real man, he licked the problem, and I don't know of any guy in the world that has more guts than the Big John.
Thank you. You're a fine banjo player, too.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nat Winston. Well, your determination and faith pulled you through, John. But you had help, a lot of help, for in 1968, you marry a woman with great faith in you and with a deep love for you. Here's your lovely wife, June Carter Cash. Judy? June, you've been a guiding light and inspiration in John's life. A member of one of America's great musical aristocracies, the Carter family, and a star performer in your own right, you and John become one of the most famous man and wife teams in the business.
Inside the walls of prison, my body may be.
Yes, you travel together, you play Folsom Prison together. And there, Johnny records an album, Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. In that album is a song titled Greystone Chapel, written by one of the prison's inmates, Glenn Shirley. Now, you've worked diligently for his release, and he's to be paroled soon, Johnny. So here on videotape from prison is the man who wrote Greystone Chapel, Glenn Shirley.
Hello, John. How you doing, man? I'm sorry that I can't be there today to be a part of your life, but I can't even begin to tell you how thankful I am that you've been a part of mine, man. I know that you've been a great inspiration to a lot of people, but none more than me, because I can honestly and truthfully say that you were the major turning point in my life. And maybe someday soon now, I can justify that faith and encouragement that you've given me by making a success and a productive life out of mine, and maybe pass on a little bit of the kindness you've shown me. God bless you, man, and I hope the kindness you show people is repaid to you, comes back tenfold. I love you.
Your fabulous career includes hundreds of hit records. Gold albums and singles, concerts, movies, and of course your very successful television show. And we're all going to watch Johnny Cash's show, aren't we? We watch it now, but more of us are going to watch now. It's a career aided and abetted by loving relatives and friends. You give your love and they return in kind. Your 4 daughters are in school in California and they wanted to say hello to their daddy.
Hi, Daddy. We love you very much, and we hope you have a wonderful time on the show.
We not only love you, but we're really proud of you, too. We're sorry we couldn't be there with you, but we're glad we had the chance to say hi.
To tell you we love you. So long for now, Daddy.
How about that? And here are your mother and father, Ray and Carrie Cash. Your brothers, Tommy and Roy. Hey, they're handsome guys too, aren't they? Your sisters, Reba, Louise, and Joanne. June's daughters, Carlene and Rosie. The grand lady herself, Maybelle Carter of the legendary Carter family. And her grandson, your and June son, John Carter Cash.
Hey, John Carter. Hi, sir.
There's your son, John.
Hi, sir.
John Carter.
How you doing?
Judy, lots for you to remember of your man's life this day. To help you, we have a gold charm bracelet with memories of your and Johnny's lives depicted on it, right there. Created especially for you by Marshall Jewelers of Fifth Avenue, New York City. We've told the story, Johnny, of a man of simple faith in his brother, his God, his land, and gifted with an enormous talent to express that faith. This is your life, Johnny Cash.
Accommodations for This Is Your Life furnished by Roger Miller's King of the Road Motor Inns, featuring gourmet food and top-name entertainment. King of the Road, a new concept in motor inn.